Hey everyone, and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got a breaking news report coming out from India, and in today's video, we're going to talk about U.S. President Donald Trump's recent threats onto Russia, calling on Vladimir Putin to end this war by August 8th, which is next Friday. If not, Russia's trading partners such as India, China, and maybe even Brazil could be hit with very steep tariffs, and if this happens, could force these countries to stop purchasing Russian oil. And I have a major report today that India is actually already starting to pull away from Russian crude oil right now. Take a look at this new report here on your screen. India halts purchases of Russian crude oil this week after Trump threats. India's state-owned oil refiners have not imported Russian crude over the past week, as discounts have narrowed and Trump warned that buyers of Russian oil could soon face steep tariffs. So this is a massive report today, and this shows that Trump's plan is already working. India is already pulling away. They have paused the purchases of Russian crude oil for their refineries. And we haven't heard any reports on what China's going to do next, but I'm sure China's worried about this as well. I'm not sure what approach they will take to response of these tariffs. But we are hearing as well that over the last week that India's energy minister, he came out reporting that India was already ready to start pulling away from Russian oil, and it looks like they have now done that as of this week. So we're going to talk more about this today. I'm going to show you guys a report regarding this story, and then we also have a statement coming out from Trump today regarding India and Russia's economies, and also Dmitry Medvedev, the deputy head of the Security Council out of Russia, once again responding to U.S. President Donald Trump with more threats. We've been talking a lot about him this week. Let's jump on over here to a mainstream news report on oilprice.com. It says India pauses Russian crude oil purchases. This is coming out today, July 31st, 2025. And it says right here, the state refiners in India have not purchased any crude from Russia this week after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened secondary tariffs on the buyers of Russian oil, and as discounts of Moscow's crudes narrowed to alternatives. Industry sources with knowledge of the procurement plans told Reuters on Thursday. Indian Oil Corporation Limited, also known as Indian Oil, Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, BPCL, Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited, HPCL, and Mangalore Refinery and Petrochemicals Limited, MRPL, have not attempted to buy crude from Russia in the past week, although they have regularly imported Russian oil on a delivered basis. Instead, the four state-controlled oil refiners, which account for more than 60% of India's refining capacity, have sought additional barrels from the Middle East and West Africa on the spot market, according to Reuters sources. So that's where they're going to be heading to next. They're going to be heading out to the Middle East and also West Africa to fill the reserves from these missing barrels that are no longer to be coming from Russia. So they're already ready to get out of Russian oil immediately. It says here the world's third largest crude oil importer, India, has significantly boosted Russian oil imports since 2022, when Russia's oil was banned in the West. Russia currently accounts for about a third of India's oil purchases, becoming the single largest crude supplier in India. To India, excuse me. State Indian refiners aren't the biggest buyers of Russian crude. These are private firms, Reliance Industries and Nayara Energy. Nayara has been encountering trouble selling its fuels outside India since it was sanctioned by the EU earlier this month due to large ownership stake of Russia's Rosneft in the company. Nayara and other refiners in India could face a clampdown on their imports of Russian crude in the near term, as President Trump announced on Wednesday that Indian goods in the U.S. would be taxed with a 25% tariff, and India would also pay a penalty for buying the vast majority of its military equipment and oil from Russia effective August 1st. Yeah, that goes into effect tomorrow. We talked about that yesterday. Trump hit them with a 25% tariff and also a penalty, which I'm not sure exactly what that's going to be. Probably more they're going to have to pay to the U.S. For buying a large amount of military equipment directly from Russia as well. And it also says here President Trump's latest post on social media sparked concern among Indian refiners. These have reportedly asked the Indian ministry for urgent guidance how to proceed with crude oil flows from Russia arriving after August 1st. Sources with knowledge of the refiners' procurement practices told Bloomberg on Wednesday. So you can see there clearly India's taken some action already, pulling away from Russia and figuring out where they're going to get their oil from next, as they know that if they continue to purchase Russian oil, they're going to be hit with these massive tariffs that they know they will not be able to afford. So that's kind of the whole plan here. That's why Trump is putting pressure on Russia's trading partners such as China, India, and Brazil, purchasing lots and lots of Russian oil. And we know that a large majority of Russia's economy is based on the sale of oil. So if we cut off the oil flows out of Russia going to other nations such as India, this is going to potentially stop Russia from fighting this war, as they won't have the funds to continue the fighting. So that's kind of the whole goal here that Trump is moving with. So let's jump on over to X now. I'm going to show you guys a few things over here as well. From Anton Gerashenko, Medvedev threatens President Trump and the U.S. with war. I wonder if Putin approves his posts. So this actually came out a couple days ago, about 3 days ago, and I wanted to show you guys this in case you weren't aware of it, because it ties into some of the conversations that are going back and forth between Trump and Medvedev right now. And again, Dmitry Medvedev is the deputy head of the Security Council out of Russia in the Kremlin. So basically a Kremlin official. And it says here, Trump's playing the ultimatum game with Russia, 50 days or 10. He should remember two things. Number one, Russia isn't Israel or even Iran. Number two, each new ultimatum is a threat and a step towards war, not between Russia and Ukraine, but with his own country. Don't go down the Sleepy Joe road. Okay, so Medvedev was responding to Trump's statement just the other day when Trump came out saying that Russia had 10 to 12 days to end this war. Now, he didn't give an exact date, but he said somewhere between 10 and 12 days. That's when Dmitry Medvedev came out responding to that, basically telling U.S. President Donald Trump they're willing to go to war over this whole ultimatum right now, that it'll eventually lead to war, is what he was saying. Okay, and then Trump came out just today, or actually last night, on July 30th, you can see here, 2025, so yesterday evening. Here's a post from Max25. This is Trump on True Social, and this was his response to Dmitry Medvedev's statement that we had there just a moment ago. And he says, I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together for all I care. We have done very little business with India. Their tariffs are too high, among the highest in the world. Likewise, Russia and the USA do almost no business together. Let's keep it that way, and tell Medvedev, the failed former president of Russia who thinks he's still president, to watch his words. He's entering very dangerous territory. So that's a huge statement coming out from Trump, and it seems like Trump is finally starting to realize who the enemy is. I mean, he's coming out very late and understanding this, but we are seeing Trump getting more aggressive with Russia, especially with statements like this, calling on Dmitry Medvedev to watch his mouth on what he's saying, basically calling for war with the United States. I mean, that is very dangerous territory, I have to admit, stating that you want to go to war with the United States, and both of you guys are nuclear powers, so that obviously cannot ever be the case. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think, but this was Trump's statement to what Dmitry Medvedev just stated the other day, calling for war with the United States. And then we actually had Medvedev come out again today and respond to Trump's latest True Social post last night. This is from Ozen Defender. In response to U.S. President Trump's post last night on True Social, Dmitry Medvedev, deputy chairman of the Russia Security Council, has alluded to threats about nuclear war with the United States. And that's another thing, too. Medvedev has been coming out with lots of nuclear threats towards the United States, towards NATO members in Europe. I mean, just constant nuclear threats coming out from this guy. And it says, about Trump's threats against me in his personal network Truth, which he banned from operating in our country. If some words of the former Russian president cause such a nervous reaction in the entire formidable U.S. president, it means that Russia is right in everything and will continue to go its own way. And about the dead economy of India and Russia and entering dangerous territory, well, let him remember his favorite films about The Walking Dead, as well as how dangerous a dead hand that does not exist in nature can be. So I thought that was very interesting. I didn't really understand exactly what he's talking about here, if I be honest, where he's talking about the Walking Dead film. Many of you have probably seen that. And he says, as well as how dangerous a dead hand that does not exist in nature can be. So I wonder if he's kind of saying that how, zombies can be very dangerous, even though they're considered being dead, right? So Trump is calling Russia and India's economies a dead economy. So kind of stating that, even though we're a dead economy, you could say that, but doesn't mean that we're not dangerous is kind of what I think he's saying. But maybe you guys interpret that a little bit differently than I do. And yeah, let me know what you think of what he means there. But yeah, once again, calling for war with the United States is stating that, they're not afraid to go up against the US and whatnot. So Dmitry Medvedev, definitely a major war hawk here, and he comes out speaking like this quite a bit. And I've shown you guys a lot of statements coming out from him. But yeah, primarily just want to let you guys know what India is doing here. I mean, this is a major move, and it's going to force, Russia to lose a lot of money selling lots of crude oil over to India. And let's see if China jumps on board as well. They might pull away as also if they feel the need to. So we'll see what China does. But India is already making moves now. So let me know what you think about all these details down below in the comment section. But that's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell, that way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.